I'm here in sunny Napa Valley, California, the world-renowned county known for its high-quality wine since 1976, where the Judgment of Paris happened. But they were producing wine long before the international recognition, and they almost never even got there. Here is how the industry titan survived Prohibition. When California became the state in 1850, Napa Valley was one of the original counties. And shortly after that, in 1858, the very first winery was opened by John Platchett. The investment quickly proved to be profitable, and by 1884, there had already been over 140 wineries developed all across the small county. This growth led to a consolidation in 1894 when the 7 top wine producers formed the CWA, the California Wine Association, in a merger. This monopoly would survive and grow their influence in the American wine world through the turn of the century and into the First World War. They were thriving until, in 1920, 13 hard years of Prohibition began, which also segued directly into the Great Depression. The Napa Valley wine industry collapsed. A game of dirty tricks and underbelly operations were forced to start to keep these businesses alive. According to Francis Dinkelspiel, author of Tangled Vines, a book detailing the Game of Thrones-esque underground battles and political dealing of Napa Valley during these years, many operations began shipping their grapes across the U.S. as a workaround, since it was still legal to make your own wine in your own home. To do this effectively, the wineries had to resort to tricks for their bootlegging, like adding caution notes for their barrels that said, "Caution, do not drop in 2 gallons of water and add sugar and put it in a dark place, because that would make alcohol." The authorities would also overlook a lot of the producers that they had good relationships with, and it became all about who you know in the connections, says Dinkelspiel. But there was still an oversupply. By the end, only 13 wineries survived, and all had to get crafty to make it through. One winery in particular found a niche that led to the only growth in the entire country. Georges de la Tour, owner and founder of Beaulieu Vineyards, found that one of his business relationships would shockingly be able to save him, and maybe shockingly it was the Catholic Church. It was still legal to sell wine for sacrament, which he was already doing for the church, so when Prohibition started, he was perfectly positioned to survive. Not only did he survive, but he quadrupled in size by extending his outreach to the entire country of Catholic churches. By 1933, when Prohibition ended, the damage had been done, and for 30 years they would struggle to recover from their losses. And it wasn't until the 1960s when they started producing high-quality Cab Sauves, which would take them to the Judgment of Paris and become the best wine in the world.